Imagine, if you will, a mysterious island, not to be found on any map. Delivered to this island 4 adventurers who live at the intersection of brave and stupid, because this is no ordinary island. This island is alive, and it will stop at nothing to protect its secrets. Today on Tabletop, Jason Finn, John Scalzi, Bobak Ferdowsi, and I will have to work together to capture the island's treasures and successfully escape from the Twilight, the Forbidden Island.
Forbidden Island is a cooperative play set collecting game designed by Matt Leacock, who did Pandemic and Roll Through the Ages. We're a team of adventurers trying to recover these 4 magical relics from this island that is sinking into the sea. Of course, the island has other ideas and is actively trying to kill us. The waters are rising and the island is sinking into the sea. The only way on and off the island is through the helipad at Fool's Landing. If Fool's Landing sinks, we lose. If the path to Fool's Landing sinks, we lose. Like all good cooperative games, there are a lot of ways to lose and only one way to win. On our turn, we get 3 actions that can be some combination of the following. We can move our guys orthogonally on the board. We can shore up sinking island spaces, or we can play some of these cards we've collected to get us closer to victory. We will have to build our team very carefully in order to have any chance at all of winning. Every character has a special ability. The messenger can give treasure cards to any other player in the game. The diver can swim across open water. The pilot can move to any space on the board at any time. Very handy when the island is sinking underneath you. Because, seriously, you guys, the island is trying to kill us. Every turn, we will draw from this treasure deck, and if we get a Waters Rise card, we increase the level of the water, and the island sinks even faster. Glug, glug, glug. Game over, Moon Pie. Will we sink or will we swim? We're about to find out. Let's play Forbidden Island.
My name is Jason Finn, and I am the drummer for the Presidents of the United States of America.
My name is John Scalzi. I'm a science fiction and fantasy writer, and I'm best known for the Old Man's War series of books.
My name is Bobak Ferdowsi, and I'm one of the flight directors on the Mars Science Lab Curiosity mission.
So every time we play a game on Tabletop, we set it up randomly. We don't fix anything. Everything that you see is exactly the way that it happens, which is why our board position is bullshit.
We're doomed.
This is terrible.
So I'm looking at the opening board position, and I don't really know enough about the game to have an intuitive feel about whether this is good or this is bad, but then I look over and Scalzi and Wheaton are both openly weeping.
Our pieces are sort of scattered over the board, but lost near the edge. So trying to get back and forth between the 2 corners where our trophy pieces are, those are a little more challenging.
The other thing is Fool's Landing is way over here. So even if we get all the temples, we have to do this basically run through the jungle to get back to Fool's Landing.
So that's, it doesn't bode well, but I had a nice breakfast, so I'm feeling good.
And I guess before your first turn, we maybe just tell the kids at home who you are.
So I'm a pilot.
So what do you think you're going to do first?
Well, if it were up to me, I would hit the observatory there. I would fly over to the observatory, and then I would shore up these 2.
The Copper Gate and the Phantom Rock?
Yeah.
But this one's actually a thing that
Yeah.
That's a good point. It is indeed.
If you go to Iron Gate, then you have options.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm allowed to land on a sinking.
Yeah, sure.
Huh?
Yeah, and you can actually land where Scalzi is.
You can land on my head.
It just means that unless you're wearing high water pants, your cuffs are wet.
No, I'm wearing
as you stand on
knickerbockers
that.
today, so those are actually
Yeah,
they,
you're good.
They stop at the knees. I scored the iPad app yesterday, And so I feel like the 2 games that I've completed have made me somewhat of an expert and kind of the go-to strategy guy.
Okay, great.
Okay,
So,
great. Well,
let's
one of you
like-
move me to Iron Gate then.
You're gonna make
Okay,
that sound
that's
every time, aren't you?
Every time. And what would you like to? What are you thinking about shoring up?
I will shore up Cave of Shadows and I suppose Iron Gate because we don't want that to sink while we're on it.
Let's make some theoretically good stuff happen for you.
Okay, let's do
so
that,
let's
yeah,
go from
yeah.
the treasure deck. Oh, look at that!
Off the bats.
All right, so the waters are gonna rise. That's fantastic. In my game at home, whenever you draw the waters rise card, which is randomized in the deck, it's your fault.
Sorry. My fault.
Okay, so we're gonna move the water from normal to elite.
You couldn't let us cheat.
That's great.
You couldn't have looked away while I
could
switched
not-
the tiles around.
I could not do that. And your treasure card.
No.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
good news, good
that's
news.
not all that bad.
Yeah.
Look,
I will take
we're,
that. This is a set,
good.
as they say.
That is a set. All
Almost
right,
a complete
so-
set. Yeah.
Now what we do is we take these guys that we flipped over at the beginning of the game to find out how things are going on this magnificent island, and we hope and hope and hope and hope that that we don't draw Copper Gate or Phantom Rock or Howling Garden.
How many other cards are there besides those there?
Well, there's the ones we already flipped.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's about 6 in there, right? Yeah. Okay.
Ready? Iron Gate.
Okay.
Well, you guys
Okay, so
are...
you're on Iron Gate. But that's fine. That's okay. It's not a big
Okay,
deal.
right.
You guys are on it. So we'll just
Getting a little
go.
damp in our socks.
Good. It's actually now it's really good that you had shored that up.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Cave of Shadows. Awesome.
Oh,
Also really good that you shored that up.
Right.
Okay. And our last one here is going to be the
Howling
Howling Garden, which goes away,
Oh,
which
already
is
lost
bad.
it. Yeah, that is
We're
bad.
doomed.
That is
That is bad.
All right, so that's the end of the first turn. Very uneventful. Very uneventful. Scalzi, you're up. What are you going to do?
Did I mention we're doomed? Well, I'm the diver. So I will just basically do a whole lot of shoring up.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a good turn to do
And
that.
this
It's
is
a good
time.
spot for that.
Cave of Shadows, because it's got this little thingy here, and I
Yep.
want it to
All
actually
right.
stay around.
Action 1.
And I think that I want to keep Copper Gate.
Action 2.
I don't really know this game very well at all. This is actually the first time I've ever played it. It's the first time I've actually seen it. But the good thing about it is as long as you have a good crew of people with you, then it's really easy to pick up and actually figure out how to work in concert. So far so good.
Now let's find out where the waters are doing their water thing. Okay, ready? We've got the Copper Gate.
See, well that was good of me.
Okay, all right.
I was
And
smart.
we have number 2, the Phantom Rock.
Bye-bye, Phantom Rock.
Goodbye,
You have
Phantom
that.
Rock. And the last thing is going to be the Silver Gate, which is where I am. So that's actually great. Take the Silver Gate out, and then now this. Check this out. I get to move to a place that of my choosing. I can either go to the Misty Marsh or I can go to the Cliffs of Abandon. These actually sound like titles of Zeppelin songs.
Now, you can't go to the Temple of the Moon?
No, I can't because it's diagonal. Every time you play Forbidden Island, you hope that you get like maybe 1 or 2 turns at the start of the game just to move around the board a little bit, and we don't get to do that today. I can move 1 to Lost Lagoon, 2 Shore Copper Gate, and 3, I could give this to you, Bobak, since you have...
Should I start the fire? Yeah, the
since
fire
you have
quest?
since you have a fire already.
Yeah.
Why can
And
you
you're-
give that to him?
Post that because I'm the messenger. I can give cards to anybody regardless of where I am on the board. And now let's get me some theoretically good cards. All right, I have a Chalice of
Victory.
something, yep, and I have a Lion of Winding.
Oh, good.
So that's all right. We avoided Water's Rise, and now let's find out what happens with the water. We've got the Coral Palace is
Right there.
going
Yeah, you
to get wet, which is not good. The Fool's Landing is not going to get wet, which is really, really bad.
It is.
It's really super bad. And the Cliffs of Abandon are going to do that, which is fine because we want to abandon them now. I can shore up Fool's Landing immediately with sandbags for free. Oh, wait, the
Bobak is right there. He's there,
Never mind.
So he uses that and moves over there and shores up the other one.
I got, you know, sometimes you get a case of the stupids.
Yeah, no. No, it never happens to me.
Really?
No.
All right, Bobak, what are you thinking?
I'm feeling pretty good. I like being the engineer. I think that's like a good role for me. It's a little different than my job, of course, but it's a lot of fun. I like the aspect of it that's really fun for me is, you know, I get to do a lot of actions near the beginning and strategize a little bit about how I'm going to use my move.
Actual NASA engineer playing the engineer? We've got this.
So I think I fixed up the Fool's Landing in Coral Palace.
All right,
right
so,
there, so
Fool's Landing 1, and then move to Tidal Palace 2, Coral Palace 3. All right, great.
Sweet.
All right, theoretically good card number 1 is a Chalice of Chalicing. Okay, we have 3 of the 4 on the board, and card 2 is sandbags. All right, that's great. And that puts you at your hand limit. So just know that as we go on. Now let's find out what the island does. The island says Cave of Embers, which is next to Fool's Landing. Then the island says Misty Marsh,
Which is where you came
which is where I came in. And then the island says Whispering Garden. Oh man, this is bad news. We have both fires and the last remaining wind sitting in the potential go-away deck. That's not good.
But
Jason,
you're next, right?
I am next.
All right, Finn, what are you doing?
It's interesting because I want to be on the same square as you, Scalzi, to receive this from you.
Yeah,
But
I love cooperative games because y'all live and die together. I feel really bad that I asked my friends to come play a cooperative game with me on tabletop because it means we're gonna lose.
You know, the thing is that this thing, it can't go. We have to save that, regardless, because it's the only one that we have left.
Yeah, that's right. And
So that's always a mission critical.
let's sandbag.
I can just sandbag it right now.
Yeah.
You do that.
And free us up.
Should you do that or do you? Because I have more cards.
I
in my
want you to
hands.
keep yours.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, but he's closer to his hand.
Yeah, I have a
limit.
sandbag as well.
Yeah, good call.
So I think let's use that.
Yeah,
and
all
shore
right.
up Whispering Garden.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a good plan.
So we'll use the sandbag.
Very well played.
When the Mohawk guy meme started, I was at the front of it. I was like, that is the best thing I have ever seen in my life. I could give him all 3 cards, couldn't I, with 3 actions?
But he would.
Oh my God.
He would reach his hand limit though very quickly, and we'd have to
Well, he
discard.
could discard these other stuff.
Yeah.
But then it would take him forever to get to the.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
Okay, you get everything. Okay, then
I can- wait.
Then you swim
Swim.
to. You get it on your next turn.
Yes,
Okay,
and I'm
that's
next.
catching your next turn. Okay, and you're going next.
Everyone else would have to go around and they would basically have to burn turns. But I can go in one turn to a tile all the way across and then just do one more step. And then my third final step is delivering the cards. And that's what I'm going to do. And then we do the... There you go.
Great. So go ahead and claim the treasure, which is now rightfully yours, John Scalzi.
Sweet.
And place it in front of you.
It looks like a little fruit dish, doesn't
I was
it?
going to say
It
incomplete
is.
Death Star, but yeah.
Incomplete Death Star.
It's Mimas.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
Getting that first one makes me think we can get the whole thing.
All right. Want some theoretically good cards?
I do.
Theoretically good card number 1
What?
is not theoretically
What?
good. It's theoretically bad.
I blame you,
All
Will.
right, and then the second card is going to be a helicopter lift.
which
so
we'll
take
clearly
that. That's
need in
good.
some-
All right. So the first thing we do is we increase the difficulty level. The waters rise. We're still drawing 3 cards.
What's the name of this level now?
This
that we're
level's
at?
now called Legendary. So had we
Yeah.
started on Legendary, we'd be drawing 4 cards.
Yeah,
right
no, that
now.
would
Okay.
not be good.
All right, let's find out. Let's find out what happens.
Stars
It's
Mario
not good.
London.
So they're shuffled. They're back on top of the thing here. And ripping it off like a Band-Aid. Temple of the Moon.
Well, we can let that one go.
We lose the Temple of the Moon.
Goodbye to the temple.
Okay. All right.
That's not bad.
The problem is that when we lose
Cave
these
of
pieces-
Shadows.
Cave of Shadows.
Not as bad as if it's the Cave of Embers.
But we still have a problem.
Yep. Okay.
Because
That
now
will
both of
stay
these are
in the deck.
submerged.
Okay. And Fool's Landing again. Also not Good. Okay. Well, if I move to Bronze Gate, I can shore up Fool's Landing.
Oh, that's a good point.
If I move all the way to Fool's Landing, that's 1, 2. Then I could shore up Cave of Embers.
I love that we all get to argue and discuss and do all this stuff before every move. It's very Congressy, isn't it?
Yeah.
a
All
good
right.
point.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
sandbag the Cave of Shadows. All right. Cave of Shadows is sandbagged. Now let's find out what the island wants to do. The island is all, hey, Coral Palace, and Cliffs of Abandon, we have abandoned you. Goodbye. And lastly, Whispering Garden
that's not so good.
is here. That is less good again because it is the only card we have where we can get a lion. Right now, I think Bobak is the most important player on the team. We have so many flooded tiles. We have got to get those shored up or we're not gonna survive 2 waters rising.
So I think I've shored up Breaker's Bridge, Cave of Embers.
That's
moved
1.
to Coral Palace.
That's
and fixed
2.
Coral Palace and Whispering Garden.
That's 3.
Yeah?
This is a
Good
good
playing,
move.
guys?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on board with this.
Well done.
I can't reach
yeah.
everything.
It's
so
like
you gotta help
laundry
me out.
day. You're just fixing stuff. Yeah.
The whole reason you want the engineer on your team is so he can flip over 4 tiles in a turn. That was huge.
I'm not sure if that's going to help the end game or not, but I hope it plays out well.
And now have some theoretically
Nice
good
colorful
cards.
board again. Yeah.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
good.
That was the
I
way
knew it
you
was
said
coming.
theoretically
I knew it was
that time
coming.
that you
And then your
just jinxed it.
bonus card is a
right.
lion, so you have to discard something.
I think one
and-
at this point is the best one. We got 4 fires on the board.
Dump the chalice right now.
Yeah, dump the chalice.
And then we got the 2 chalices right
may-
next
we
to
may
each
end
other,
up-
so
we
we
may-
can actually just
Yeah, yeah.
stay there, focus
We may
on
end
that.
up regretting that, but
What we do is focus here, and every time it wants to sync those, we just rebuild those.
that's true. Yeah.
So we could do that, and then we're right here.
We're close.
This is a brilliant plan, and I fully endorse it.
I'm on board. I second Scalzi's brilliant plan. Do we have a quorum for the plan?
We do. I have 4 sandbag cards in my pocket I brought from home,
Oh,
too.
good,
So
good.
I'm just
Okay,
gonna
great. We're starting to do great.
There has to be all this discussion, or there's going to be, like if you had to do a silent version of this game, it would just be mind-blowing. I'll bet there's a pro league in Belarus or somewhere, like a pro Forbidden Island league where it's like totally silent.
See no possible way this brilliant plan could ever
It is
fail.
impossible to plan to fail.
No.
Okay, so now the waters will rise. This is the last time we're going to be drawing 3. So look, we are going to be drawing. Every one of these cards is terrible.
Yeah.
Super bad news.
Yes.
I think with the water rising as it is right now, it's a little scary just because parts of the board are so far apart, and we need to keep the center of the board intact also so that people like myself, which can't move over water or fly, can get around.
How does this compare to guiding curiosity to the surface of Mars?
You know what? At least on Mars, everything was over by the time we realized it on Earth. So waiting for that 14-minute delay was kind of nice. Yeah.
The first time I played Forbidden Island, it was before the official release, on the only copy of the game that existed in the world with the designer, Matt Leacock. And now I'm playing with my friend who was a real NASA engineer, my friend who was an award-winning science fiction author, and my friend who's from the freaking President of the United States of America. I cannot lose this game. Here's what's gonna happen. Ready? This is happening. The Cave of Shadows is flooding.
Got it.
Fool's Landing is flooding.
Uh-oh, that's no good.
And finally, Whispering
Whispering
Garden
Garden.
is
Oh,
flooding.
it's our biggest fear. I got it.
We're safe for 2 more turns. Okay. Because we have the 3 Waters Rise cards are already here.
Right.
So we're safe for 2 turns.
Okay.
The plan that I have, at least for this round of turns, involves some risk. And that would be me taking the pilot and flying over to the engineer square,
Yeah.
giving Bobak the third flame
yeah.
card,
Uh-huh.
and then shoring up, Whispering Glen. Or
Whispering Garden there.
Okay.
and then of course
At
with
the
your turn,
risk-
it's,
the risk of Fool's
the risk
Landing.
is if Fool's Landing comes up, we lose the game. So I probably have to ditch that and shore it up now, right?
Another thing you could do, Jason, you could fly to me. You could give me the fire card, which does not cause us to discard a fire card.
Right.
All right? That's 2 actions, and then on your 3rd action, you shore up Fool's Landing.
Right.
You're great. I love that. That's what we're doing.
Because he's the messenger.
Yeah, you knew that the whole
what I
time.
do.
You just wanted me to talk about stuff.
Look, I'm not going to be a table captain.
Oh, jeez. I really like the cooperative nature of this game, and I'm really enjoying playing it. But the reason that I signed up in the first place was I'm going to kick Wheaton's ass at something.
That was great. It was good. He was thinking ahead there.
It's
My
teamwork.
committee.
Teamwork
Really
is
great.
happening all over the place.
All right, how about some theoretically good cards?
In theory.
How about a helicopter lift?
Okay.
Look at you,
Okay.
the pilot with 2 helicopter lifts.
Now, your second card is Earth, which is great because it's the thing we don't care about. All right, let's find out what the island does on its turn. Coral Palace will flood. That's underneath the engineer. Now, the Gold Gate is going to go away. And our final thing that's happening is the Cave of Embers, which is next to Fool's Landing, is going to flood. So go ahead and do that. Hey, Scalzi, how's it going?
I feel good.
What are you gonna do now, sir?
1, go to Whispering Garden, and 2, to flip it, and then to flip the Coral
That's
Palace.
three moves. May I just throw a thing out here?
You so often throw things out. He's got a losing record, but he's played so many games that he's won more games than almost anybody else, even if he's got the losing record. So he's like the football coach that keeps getting like 2-year contracts and gets let go at the end of it and still gets another 2-year contract. You know he knows the game. You just hope this time it's going to get you to the Super Bowl.
Okay, you have a helicopter card.
I do have a helicopter.
So with that helicopter card, you can move 1 person or 2 people on the same tile anywhere else.
Okay.
Okay. We could even use 2 of those cards, and the 3 of us end up here.
Whispering Garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
That saves you a move action. You still get to shore 2 things, but you also give me a wind, which then I can just distribute around. Helicopter cards are really valuable and really powerful, but we have got to increase our ratio of good cards to bad cards in the treasure deck before we reshuffle.
I'm totally for this in a general sense, if you think we can pull this off. Do you feel confident about this?
No. No, of course I don't. I don't feel confident about anything until I'm in front of the wall of victory.
Yes.
So, helicopter. All right, these go back into this pile here, okay? So now, do your first real action.
Shoring.
Shoring.
That.
Beautiful.
And
Shoring. Yep. Okay.
And then here. I got nothing.
So now-
I literally got nothing.
Yep. Okay.
Man, with 4 people getting the cards to the right spot as things start to get underwater, man, it's hairy.
Now let's find out what kind of nastiness the island does to us. The Copper Gate is going to flood.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. The Misty Marsh is going to sink. That's behind the,
Bye-bye, Misty Marsh.
Bye-bye, Misty Marsh. And Breaker's Ridge is going to flood. All right, that's good, that's there. All right, that's good.
How far are we from waters rising?
We don't know. You want me to count it? 1, 2, 3 of 12, 13, 14.
So 3 or 14.
3 and 14.
3 and 14, that's about 20%.
Yeah.
How do you like those odds?
Look, a 3 in 14 chance of success is better than a 1 in 14 chance of success. In fact, it's 3 times as good.
The simple fact of the matter is that we can't risk losing that because we also have the Cave of the Shadows submerged. So somebody's got to go shore that up, and he might as well go here, shore up both of these.
Yep. So on my turn, I go. Watch this. 2 actions. Scalzi.
Why don't you give Bobak the 2 fires?
Well, because then he has to discard things, and we don't want that to happen.
I see. Oh, gosh. What were you thinking? High stress.
It's
You know, it's the whole peer review process is really intense. I normally enjoy strategizing in a game like this, but I'm really self-conscious today. Sitting to my left is an actual NASA flight engineer who put a spaceship on Mars.
Thank God I have a Wil Wheaton on my team and on my shirt. This could be game over.
This could be super duper bad. This could be super duper bad.
But you have to do a little bit of risk.
Yep. The game over aspect would be if the waters rise and we drop both the caves.
Let's just clear our minds and not think too much about the particular cards that will totally kill us. We'll just think about.
If we die on this turn, I always loved you.
Oh, that's sweet. If we all die in this turn, I'm gonna fly away in my helicopter and leave you all to drown.
No. If a flood happens, if the waters rise, we're screwed. But, you know, if it doesn't, and we manage to get through this particular round, then we're going to be in a really good position. It's gambling.
Okay, all right. I can keep shuffling them forever, but sooner or later I have to draw them. All right, Wheaton, you ready for some theoretically good cards? I'm gonna turn it away from me first.
Oh.
Ah! wait.
Well, at least it wasn't too
Wow,
loud.
Earth, that's super great. Thanks, that's helpful. Okay, the waters rise.
So this is on you. This is you.
Totally on me.
Right, it's on your
Alright.
turn, it's your fault.
Yes.
By the time you get from 3 to 4, your deck is so thin from sunken tiles, every single time you turn something over, it is bad. This might be where we lose the game. This might be, it might happen.
It's all on you.
It might happen. It is all on me. Of course, if it's all on me, we're losing. If it's all on me, we're drawing 2 caves. I'm just gonna tell you, if it's all on me, 2 of these 4 cards are gonna be caves.
All right.
Because I watch this show. And we recycle plots. All right, you guys, I'm gonna do my best. I'm doing my best, here we go.
Okay,
Copper Gate.
Oh, that's gone.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, that is
That's
good.
good. Breaker's Ridge. That's also good. Okay.
Here we go.
Coral Palace.
We don't, yeah?
No, that's
That's
okay.
We're sitting on top of it.
We don't lose this turn. All right. You guys, we don't lose this turn.
Will's fun because he's so clearly excited about the game. You know, you just watch him and it really is literally the 12-year-old boy in the candy shop. And by literally, I mean figuratively. Wait, was that 3?
3, one more.
3, 4. Cave of the Embers. That's bad.
That's bad. That means that we have to.
That's bad.
That's bad.
That's bad.
All right.
That's bad. That's bad. That's.
The crowd is silent.
I physically cannot get
Definitely
to Cave of
bad.
Shadows, for example, anymore.
Definitely bad.
Well, we have.
But the only person who can get to Cave of Shadows is Finn, because he's the helicopter pilot. Yeah. He can go anywhere. This
Our
game just
diver
got
can get there.
really, really hard.
Can the diver get there?
Scalzi can get there, sure.
You could get there from the observatory or the watchtower.
The diver becomes more powerful the longer you play because he has a longer reach. I mean, he can get all the way across the board if he needs to, as long as there's a clear path.
But it's Bobak's turn.
It is. I'm feeling good. So I think first move.
Hey, guess what? You don't have to worry about shoring up that cave anymore.
No, I don't have to save that guy anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you this wind.
Thank you. I've got the wind.
The Aslan there.
Yeah, I've got lots of wind.
I guess I'm
Something,
obviously
something
shore
burritos.
up Coral Palace because.
Good idea. Yeah. Keep a path. Yeah.
And then, I mean, I would assume my best bet is to kind of keep near
near
this area. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen.
How about some good cards?
I like those. I like
right.
those.
Have some earth, that's useful, and have some air.
I have the chalices.
actually
I have a good
really
collection.
good.
I'll discard that, yeah. Since
That's really good. I am as surprised as anyone that we have not lost the game yet. Yet being the operative word in that sentence. Now we might lose the game, but we would lose it on your turn instead of mine.
That's true. That's true, at least.
Okay, the Cave of Shadows, we lose the game. The Cave of Shadows sinks.
GG, guys.
That sinks.
Yeah.
GG, everybody. GG, way to go, Bobak.
I would just like to say at the moment that this is probably what we get for coming to this island rapaciously.
Yeah.
With the intent to steal these priceless artifacts that the Archaeans spent so much time hiding to avoid this sort of destruction.
They did make it very clear that the island was forbidden.
Yes.
It's
They
right
did
there.
say
It's right
that
there
that's
on the
forbidden.
title.
Yeah. So what's going to happen now is we're going to go to the loser's couch.
Man.
Forbidden Island is going to
we
go
hug each other?
downstairs, and it's going to take its place next to Matt's other game, Pandemic, that also beat us. And it's going to get a thing that it does. You don't even care. You don't care that you won. You're a box.
Guys, can you scoot down? I forgot to put Will's sign out, and I don't want to get fired.
Right, yeah.
There's one more thing on this show.
It's always something, isn't it?
Oh, you guys, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
I really thought that we had a chance until I saw what the board looked like at the beginning of the game. All right, look, I got to go downstairs and give an award to a box that doesn't even care. Sincerely, though, thanks a lot for coming to play on the show, you guys.
Cash prizes?
Yes, there are cash prizes. Let me just...
Whatever comes back here, it's not going to be a cash prize.
Well, Forbidden Island, I think you got a little bit of a lucky draw, but you played really well. We played our best game. You played your best game. You emerged victorious. You earned this victory. You absolutely deserve the Wall of Victory. In fact, I'm gonna let you go ahead and call for it. So whenever you're ready, you just let us know. I have to say, Forbidden Island, I think you're kind of being a dick. You are not being a gracious winner at all. But, Matt Leacock, you are now 2-0 against Tabletop. I think you should have a special badge at Board Game Geek. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, play more games and we'll see you right back here on Tabletop.
They're not cash or real.
Or prizes, really.